And start it. So this is going to be all about weather. So what can you tell me? What have you learned so far about weather?
That I got no idea.
You have no idea? Do you have any ideas about weather?
Wait, this is going on YouTube?
Oh no, this is a video I'm about to show you.
I thought it says YouTube.
Yeah, it's going to be on YouTube. But
This video that we're making?
that we're about to make. Or that we're going to watch. So, can you tell me anything about weather at all?
I know how we get clouds.
Clouds? Okay, can you tell me that?
First, there's water, and then when it gets hot, it evaporates, and then it's like foggy, and then it gets up to sky, and there's so many of it together that it makes a big cloud, and then when it gets too much, it turns black, and then it rains a lot. It's
That
not
is
the
right.
only way. There's a big old like train thing. Well, not a train, but this big old pipe-looking thing, but it's huge.
Okay, so that's something we're going to actually talk about. And you're going to know what the name of that is here in a little bit. Do you ladies have any ideas about weather?
Clouds black. There's rain droplets, and they're like really, really small. And a lot of the rain droplets come together to make it bigger.
That is true. That is true.
But I think I know how it lightens. And that's
Lightning?
but I really don't know how to thunder something.
I know. That's kind of a hard one sometimes. We're going to talk about it.
The two droplets go, and it makes a
Then
big
it
flash.
thunders and flashes. Yep, that is true. Let's watch this video real quick. That way.
One time I was riding my bike, it was raining, and my phone was cutting the grass, and the lightning struck was like so
Types
close.
of weather.
I could like feel the heat.
Really?
Yeah, the heat in the hospital.
Yeah, there's a lot of
But I
stories
didn't
about
get
that.
struck.
About
I didn't
lightning.
get struck.
Well, that's good. We wouldn't want that to happen.
One time my friends came over, and then we were playing in the rain until it started lightning, and we were shooting each other with fire guns and stuff.
Oh, goodness.
And
Well, I mean, that's one way to do it, right? So let's look at this quick video. It's like a minute and a half, not long. There's different types of weather.
Sunny.
We like sunny weather, right?
Is that
Partly cloudy.
Partly cloudy. What does that mean? Does that mean
It's like it's cloudy. It's like sun, like sunny, but a little bit light.
yeah, a little bit lighter? So just a few clouds. You see those clouds up in the sky.
Cloudy.
Now that's more like today, right? Cloudy.
It's really nice today. It's not moving that fast.
That's
Fog.
true. Fog.
I hate
When does
fog.
fog happen?
When it gets hot and it evaporates,
And it
that's the
evaporates.
fog.
Yeah. After it rains, you see that, like whenever you're driving, or you see your parents while you're on the road, you see the fog across the road. We see that a
It
lot.
totally fogs off the windows.
Yeah, it makes it hard to drive sometimes. You can't really see that well. So that's not good.
Rain.
That's today too, right?
Well, it's not. Wait, is that a flood? That's a flood.
I know.
Wait, no, I think they're adding
Windy. Now, we see right here it's windy, but it's still sunny, right?
wind.
But it can be windy and raining, right?
Yeah.
So two different things can happen at the same time. We can have rain and wind.
Yeah. But if it's we can have rain and sun.
You can.
If it's like raining and it's windy, it'll be like the tree or limbs will be like.
Yep, you'll be able to see it moving, right? So we can see the wind sometimes. Sometimes you can feel it and you don't see it, right?
It looks like a tornado, but it's not. Right
Yeah.
there, like not that big wave, but that little thing.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, right there. What's that? I think it's a
Might
boat.
be. Might be.
No, it's
That would help the wind would help that, wouldn't
no,
it?
that was just a little.
Help push the boat.
It just
Oh, it did stop.
Lightning.
We just talked about that, didn't we?
is that like a skyscraper?
That's at Washington, D.C.
Tornado.
We were talking about tornadoes. Those are scary, aren't they?
I've read a book about I survived the Joplin tornado.
Yeah, it's
1911.
over
I'm at 2011.
Well, you guys were going to be very excited.
Wait, that was
because
whenever I was born. 2011. No, it was before we were all born.
I was born in 2000.
Guys, you have a sheet you should be working
But
on.
with
You'll
the
fit
tornadoes, we're going to
Don't
be
start
talking
on
about
it. Wait till
tornadoes.
we come back from lunch.
We're going to be talking about tornadoes, and we're going to do an activity the next day I come, we're going to make your own tornado.
Yes.
So that'll be fun. So we see tornadoes.
Hail.
Ooh, I hate hail.
It's icy rain, isn't it?
It sounds like a bad word, but it's not.
Hurricane.
Exactly. Now, what's a hurricane? Do you know what hurricanes are?
It's like a little rain put together. It's kind of like
Yeah.
a tornado.
Exactly. It's just like a tornado, but over the water instead.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to talk more about that on a different day. So we're going to cover all of this.
Snow.
We like snow, don't we?
Yeah, so I can get. I like to go sledding.
Sledding,
I like to
sneaking,
get
Rainbow.
I've seen a
rainbow.
rainbow.
What happens with the rainbow?
That means that God's promising to never for the earth.
That is right. Do you know how they're made?
Yeah, rain and
Rain.
sun. But I know.
Rain and
I've
sun.
read a book about this. The
I know. Too.
there's like you know how like at the end of the day it's like blue and then
Mm-hmm.
all the colors all the way down to red at the very bottom.
Yep.
The there's a like dot like holes in the clouds and then the light shines through it and then it
Yeah.
makes a rainbow.
It's like a
That is
prism,
true.
Cooper.
That's very true.
Wait, people say that there's gold at the end of the rainbow. I've been at the end of the rainbow, but it's just a like plastic pot with like a bunch of plastic gold.
Yep.
Mm.
Yep. We've all heard that, haven't we?
But it's really not. It just goes around the whole world.
That's
I
true.
mean, it never stops. It
Yeah.
just keeps going out and out and out
Yep. Until the rain goes away, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk more about weather, since this is what you guys are already talking about. So we have snow and lightning. What are these?
low temperature and then high temperature.
Yep. So, and how do you measure that? Is that with a thermometer?
Yeah.
Right. So what causes weather? We talked a little bit about that earlier.
Rain, water,
Rain, water,
nature, air,
the air, wind.
nature, life.
So, actually, it's the uneven heating of the earth. Now, that may be a really hard thing to put in your head, but whenever the earth gets really, really heated at the bottom, like you said, after it rains, the heat will start evaporating back into the atmosphere. Does that make sense? Because since there's different heating on the earth, it can cause things to happen in the sky.
I'm thinking about something
That's
way
different.
different right now.
That's okay.
Like a hurricane.
Not even about weather.
Not even about weather.
I mean, no.
Now, the high and low pressure areas, that is something that can be kind of confusing too. But whenever we start talking about tornadoes, you're going to understand the higher and lower pressure can cause different weather to happen, like the tornadoes, the hurricanes, all of it. So,
The higher you get, the colder it is.
now what about precipitation? What is that word? What does that mean? That's a big word for something you already know.
Precipitation.
Precipitation.
Precipitation. Precipitation. I said suffocation.
You know what precipitation is? It's just rain.
Pre-suffocation.
Rain and snow. Things that fall from clouds.
I'll
Precipitation.
suffocate myself right now.
And then wind and clouds come from it.
I can be like a ninja.
And then it happens. Hey, that's not a ninja precipitation. Kind of same thing, right? Alright, let's see what else. So we kind of talked about that already too. What does it look like outside?
Rainy.
Rain.
It's-
Drizzling.
Yeah, drizzling.
What's in the sky?
Look up. It looks
Clouds.
ugly. Look up. It looks ugly.
It does. What do you think will happen later? Do you think it might clear up or it'll
Stay.
I'll
Probably
think it's
stay.
You think it'll stay?
Yeah,
I think it's
the
gonna turn
weather.
into a rainbow because
you
it's
just
been
have to listen to
like 2 days straight raining.
Okay, yeah. So why do you think a rainbow will happen?
Because it'll be sunny and it'll still be wet.
Yeah, and the evaporation coming up. And then once the evaporation comes up and the sun shines through, makes a rainbow.
But how does it make a form like that?
Yeah.
You know, that's a good question.
I
But
think it's
the shape of the earth,
it's
more than
round.
likely. Yep. And then the way the light shines onto it, onto like the evaporation, the water coming up, it can cause that too.
It's crazy how we can see the sun all the way up in space.
That is true. That is true. It's up in space too.
But it's not even, and it's a star. Wait, we're in space right now.
We are. Isn't that crazy? We're in space right now. The Earth is though.
Oh.
Same thing as we are.
That's true.
This is crazy.
No.
How we inspect? We're not.
Now, what's severe weather? Do we know what that means?
Yes.
What is it?
Very damageable weather.
Yes. Is that what you were going to say?
Weather.
Kind of, it's dangerous weather,
Like
right?
a hurricane or tornado.
Yep. You kind of read
It's
my mind,
very
so you see all these
severe
things. What are these pictures of? What's this?
Lightning, tornado, hurricane.
You knew the hurricane right off, okay.
Hurricane, that's what it looks like from the very top of the
Yeah.
hurricane.
Now, we already asked what that was, and you said it was dangerous weather.
Mm-hmm.
Dangerous conditions. And then you said the
Oh,
thunderstorms,
now it's
windstorms, tornadoes,
Now it's raining
hurricanes,
thunder.
and more. There's so many of
There's
them.
some thunder. Now it's raining.
Look, it's raining harder.
Guess what?
Yeah.
So, actually, you should stay inside your house if it's like flooding.
That
Because your
is
house
true.
will flip upside down and you would be able to stand on it.
That's very true.
Be flooding like a
Like
Hurricane
Hurricane Katrina.
Katrina. We read a
Right.
survival.
There you
We
go.
read a lot
And
of
like Hurricane
survival.
Dorian.
Look, you guys know
Hurricane
all the names.
Harvey,
Mm-hmm.
Hurricane Michael,
You
Hurricane,
just know all of them.
Hurricane, Hurricane Aldi.
It might be one.
It probably will be one.
It probably will be one.
They go in a certain order.
Oh, look, another video.
Ooh,
This one's gonna be a little scarier.
No.
I wonder why. Let's.
It's probably gonna be severe weather.
You think
Yeah.
it's gonna be severe
Oh,
weather?
Yeah.
So we see all this forming.
Tornadoes, hurricanes, and other things.
Well, that's just a cloud.
Oh gosh.
He's going to a hurricane. Or a tornado. Tornado.
Look at it. See how it's forming?
Oh yeah, I see it now. Yeah, I can see like the little round.
That's where it touches down.
No.
Yeah, it just touched down to the earth.
It did.
R.I.P.
I know.
I bet you videoed that and uploaded it to YouTube and then
Don't
put
tell
it
you
down.
Yeah,
It's crazy
probably
how
not.
it only strikes one part of the earth.
That's true. And then it, yep. See, look, there's two at the same time. That can happen.
But I
Look
think
at that
another
beam
one.
out.
Look at those feet.
Ooh,
I think another one.
But we're protected by the mountains.
Yeah.
that's very true. We don't see many tornadoes.
No.
One time there was a big building at my dad's work at Maze Manufacturing, and the heaviest statue went all the way over the fence.
See, the wind can be that strong. It can do it. But you guys, you see how that's going, and with all
Wait,
the,
was it the Bigfoot one? Is it the Bigfoot
which if
statue?
we kind of,
No.
Bigfoot.
There was a Bigfoot
Just to
statue.
kinda-
It was way before you were born. It was
See, look at this. You see how dark those clouds are at the bottom? They're darker and then they're lighter up
There's
top.
two Bigfoots. That I survived book. That I
Look,
survived
you must be going out into the rain.
Oh, that's the flood.
That's the floods on the beach. Now, you said the tornado earlier. What's the difference between a tornado and a hurricane?
It's made by water.
You want to tell me?
Hurricane is where there's a lot of wind and there can be a lot of water, and tornado is when it spins around and it's dark clouds forming together.
Yep, that is true. Were you going to say the same thing?
I've seen a tornado at the bottom of the mountain before. Guess what? It's not a real tornado, but sometimes when it's windy, like it goes and it hits off the wall, and then leaves are down there, and it
Leaves
swirls
fall?
up, and it looks like one.
So that's a mini tornado, isn't it?
I've seen a mini tornado.
See, they
it was just
happen a
one
lot.
with leaves. It threw around like we was having a yard sale. It threw around a bunch of stuff.
Now it can get, if we see all those dark clouds forming, look out onto the, and you see on here it's mostly flat land too, which like he said earlier with the mountains we're kind of more protected, but on those flat lands they tend to have more area to move around and they can cause more damage.
I know how to make a tornado.
Do
Get
you
a
really?
bunch, get 50 million fans and blow them all at once.
Just point them all toward each other.
Yeah.
That could work. That could
Like
work.
a circular motion.
Yeah.
There's somebody they're about to chase down a very dangerous tornado in my book.
That can be
Dr.
scary, can't
Gage
it?
off of a TV show, but he ain't real.
Do we know what this means?
Yeah.
Weather disturbances.
Yeah, it disturbs you.
Disturbs.
Like
The
it
environment.
messes up.
Yeah, like if you're watching TV, it might be like a warning that that's
Yeah.
a TV, like a tornado.
Like it just turns off
Exactly.
your, like when it says, and the winner is, and then it comes off right when he says it.
Yep, that's a
That'd be
disturbance.
really
It
unfortunate.
messes up something, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think
So-
it really happened. And the
So what did you
winner
see in that
is-
video?
I
With that?
saw nature.
Nature.
It's all hurricanes.
Why
Floods.
is there big ol'
and
tornadoes?
disturbance?
There's
We're
big ol'
looking.
eyeballs.
So we're looking. What did you say? Tornadoes?
A disturbance.
A disturbance. That is
In
very
my
true.
eyeballs.
So what's happening in the sky? Does it look more like that, or did it look more like this one?
It looks
The
more
dark.
like
The dark one? Yep.
Mhm.
And that's because it's a disturbance. It's something bad is happening. It's messing up the environment.
and that's what's just the
Do you know what these are called? What do we see? You listed off a few of them.
Tornado.
Tornado,
hurricane.
hurricanes,
Hurricane Katrina.
Katrina.
Harvey.
So let's look at these different types. So we said the tornadoes, right?
Yes. Floods. Hurricanes.
That's hurricanes. Kind of with the
That's
flood.
that's what it
Same
looks
thing.
like from the
Wait,
top.
no, there's a dark hole in the
Snowstorm.
middle.
Yep. Which if you look from the top of a tornado, you'll probably see the same thing.
Yeah, like a dark hole.
Yep.
Oh,
There's
the
always
weather
a
it looks
dark
like that. You know,
Because
the
it's
weather.
just spinning like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Yep.
it goes down and you might drop into space.
Exactly. Maybe.
I wonder if everybody's
Actually,
Snowstorms.
it's actually true. You'll drop into space. That's actually true.
And
Thunderstorms.
thunderstorms with the lightning.
oh, it actually hit the water.
So snowstorms and thunderstorms are kind of similar. aren't
Yeah.
they?
What?
They're not the same thing.
I
but-
can't believe that is actually touching the water.
Yeah.
I know.
Clouds are actually in space.
Yeah.
And they're coming all the way down.
That's and you see it. It's coming over land right there too.
And if
Actually,
you
it's
look,
really not in space, but like the top.
The atmosphere, which is not completely space, but not.
now I'm thinking that I saw that hole. If I dug a hole all the way down to the other side of the earth, once I get up there, I'd fall back down. And then when I get back there, I'd fall back down.
Gravity, right?
Gravity. Yeah.
Because once I get at the top of the hole at the end of the world, I have to fall back down because I'm at the end of the world. Then I go out.
I mean, like that could
And
happen.
I bring a hamburger.
Tornadoes.
Oh, sit in
Yeah,
a
you
few-
see tornadoes.
And then in a few hours, I'd say, oh, here's my tornado. Here's my burger.
So the tornadoes will actually be our main focus. We're going to talk about tornadoes. We're going to make that tornado in a bottle.
I know how we can make
one
this.
day.
I know. I did it.
Yep, we're going to be
Tornado
making a
is
bunch.
Like you
But
stir it up like that.
what are tornadoes though?
Put water and you get a spoon in it and just start over.
They're dangerous
Mhm.
disturbance.
That's true.
Tornadoes is like a big storm, and it can set an alert.
That is true.
Like
That is
there's
true.
a tornado warning. There's a tornado watch. There's a it's just touched down. There's a tornado or something.
That's correct.
That's very true. Now, what's the shape of a tornado?
circle?
A circle?
Cylinder.
Is there a tornado that looks like that? Cylinder. That's a good
sphere,
word.
Like
like
when
a birthday hat, but upside down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I say upside down triangle.
Yeah. Or
upside
a
down cone.
Yeah.
Upside.
Yeah.
So what I found was that they're rotating columns, kind of like cylinders in a way, that keep twisting,
Around
but
the
they
ground.
stretch from what happens up top.
Ooh,
What is it coming from?
green and
Clouds.
Clouds.
animals.
So more like thunderstorms, clouds, rain. So it stretches from that thunderstorm that's happening all the way down to the ground, all the way, and then it just keeps spinning.
I
It keeps
touched them.
going. Now we're going to talk more details about that in a different lesson. But for right now, we're just going to think of them as columns that just spin.
That's what.
But then you're going to figure out how they're formed.
One time, I saw a hurricane. I was at the beach. And me and my father and my brother, and my car was on. We was just gonna go hop in the water and get out because
Cause
it
they
was
say-
about to rain. And those rain bags out,
Yep.
and
They put the red flags out for us, but that means we just couldn't get really close to it. We
yeah,
couldn't
and
get
then
in the water.
there was a hurricane that caught up. My car was still on, we hopped into the car. We turned on sports mode because my Mimi has a sports car, and we
You had to go.
we
Get
we
away.
pushed the pedal all the way down. It kicked in for like 2 seconds and it was off.
But with this tornado, like we were just talking about with the thunderstorm, you see how it's darker up here, and then it stretches all
There's
the
a
way
cock
down.
right there.
You think
Oh,
that-
I see what it looks like.
Probably a
now.
cock.
It looks like a cotton candy thing where you hold it and then at
Yep.
the top it looks like cotton candy.
And what happens when they make cotton candy? It spins, right?
It spins and then you just grab it.
Now look at this. This is going to be kind of fun.
Like
Let's
it's
look
a-
at this. Here, I'm actually going to move it a little bit closer for you guys. So let's look at this little weather simulator.
Oh.
So I'm going to click on the tornado, which is what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Now you can see this little tornado forming.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know what happens whenever the wind gets stronger and faster?
It starts forming the tornado.
Yeah. Do you think it would cause more destruction or less
Turn up the
destruction?
speed. You'll have to turn up the
You
speed.
think it would cause more damage?
Yes.
You think it would? Why do you think it would cause more damage if it's
All the
higher
way.
wind speed?
All the way. Because it can like.
Now look at that.
Yep.
Wait, no, turn it all the way down. And smash it into the window.
Exactly.
Cut it
And that's
all
what
the
we
way
see
down.
right here in this
And that's
picture. The
picking up
cars
now
taking
turn it all
out.
the way down.
Seeing if we turn it all the way down, we see it's just light damage. The wind speed's not too high, but also, and I think you have seen in some of the other pictures, some of them will look skinnier, but then there's some tornadoes that look really big.
How about you turn that all the way up and the
You think this will do
wind
something?
speed? Yeah, both of them all the way up.
What happened when we did that?
It got big.
Look, so we can have a little baby one, or we can have a really big one.
Wait, now, go up.
And then the wind speed all the way up, it's an incredible damage. So this just shows us that the different wind speeds and the
Wait,
different widths.
500 yards.
Yep.
If you turned it all the way up, that's how long it is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
A yard
Wait,
is a
turn that one all
football
the way up.
field.
Turn
A
that one
yard
all the way
is a
up.
football field. So 500 football fields. That's all
too
we got.
much.
Isn't that crazy? Look at all the things. Now let's look at the hurricanes.
Yeah.
Oh,
See, do we know what state that is?
that's the
Not
Florida.
it.
Florida. That is Florida.
We live like right up there, and there's Texas right there.
Yep. Now look,
Wait,
see,
cut
you
'em
see
up.
that it's spinning a lot faster, right? And there's less damage. But whenever it comes, the wind
Put
speed's
them
really
all
high.
both up.
Oh no. It spreads. It spreads.
Yeah, and
That
you
looks
see,
cool.
with this lower, it's not really touching Florida, is it?
But now turn it all the way up.
But whenever we turn it all the way up like that,
It's touching
it's touching
Florida.
some of Florida. Now, even
But it
whenever,
probably won't be
That's
touching it.
what-
It'll just be like cloudy, like and rainy.
That both
Mhm.
of them all the way up is like what I was in.
yeah, which this one right here, if we look, you see how it's not really touching Florida, but kind of maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you think Florida will still get rain or
Yeah, you'll get
storms?
Because maybe some of that hurricane might
Maybe it
fly off. a little
Yep.
bit. That
And since
way.
it's so close,
Wait, if you turn that all the way up, it'll be just like the I Survived book.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I survived?
I survived the
Oh yeah.
hurricane.
right? So those are the hurricanes, and we see that they're in different categories.
I didn't get to the Florida all the way down there. That's like the Bahamas, and then there's like the Florida Island too. I didn't go
Hey,
from all the way down there.
Turn
to
up
there.
those two things. Turn that thing up. Those two arrows. Turn it up.
See, these will show you different types.
Oh, that's
so we
just-
have category 2. Now right here we see the storm surge of 6 to 8 feet. Now that may be kind of confusing, but the biggest waves will be 6 to 8 feet tall with those. But that's only a
How
category
much feet
2.
are you? How much feet are you?
Look, 19 plus feet. So I'm almost 6 feet tall. Almost. But this one's 19 feet. So that's like 3 of
Yeah,
me stacked
I
on top
jump
of each
those.
other.
Every time I go to the beach, I jump one about. That's pretty sad.
When we went to
Pretty big one,
Folly
right?
Beach with our cousins, they're huge beaches. I mean, they're huge.
Right?
One time my cousin and my brother
Yep.
was going to.
It's fake.
It is fake, isn't it? Look at this wind speed. Okay, so if we start really, we got the wind speed up there, right?
What
Now,
about
this is visibility. That's how far you can see in the snow. So if you turn it down, let's say you can't see for this many miles. Look at how, you can't even see the road. You can barely see the road,
you
can't you?
need to turn on your windshield wipers all the way up see that.
And then look, now we can kind of see a little bit better. Now accumulation, that's just how much is forming, how much
No,
snow
turn
we're
that
getting.
All the way up.
Look, it covered it up.
No, turn all of it.
Put them all the way as the worst I
Here, look.
can get.
This is the worst that you could get right here. Let it load for 1 second. And that's as worst as you can get. And it says snowfall for 3+ hours. So it's snowing for 3 hours continuously. Just keep snowing. And then it says you can't see hardly at all because of how much
it's a
snow.
blizzard.
I can only
It's a
see
blizzard.
that
Yeah.
tree.
It is a
It's
blizzard. Yep. And that's another word for snowstorm, but a really bad snowstorm.
And about those big waves, I wrote my first
Hey, guys,
ice
in the back, you're going to have to go wash your hands for lunch.
I'll tell you when I get
We'll
back.
We'll tell you when
Rachel,
we
you can line up.
I'll just show you now. So, look, I read a survival book, and then there was some earthquakes, and you know how it pulls all the water really back, and it comes back. There was a big tsunami.
Wow.
2 bad things happened. That one, but it's only supposed to happen 2, but it happened twice.
Wow.
I got
Oh
you.
my goodness.